We are continuing with Talcott Parsons, and today we talk about his theory of evolutionary change. There was early criticism that Parsons did not pay enough attention to the study of change. People considered that his approach was static kind of system, static kind of society. We see that Parsons was rather conscious of it, and in the 1960s, he developed his ideas about change in his books, Society's Evolutionary and Comparative Perspective. So he looked at change from an evolutionary perspective. So evolutionary perspective means that it is a unidirectional kind of approach. We move on in the same direction. It's more like linear. इसमें कोई swings नहीं है, oscillation नहीं है, और इसमें कोई आप कह लें कि revolutionary किस्म की change भी नहीं है, कोई radical किस्म की change भी नहीं है. So he presented a paradigm of evolutionary change. So we see that the roots of Parsons' evolutionary thinking can be traced back to Auguste Comte, Herbert Spencer, Durkheim, and Marx. So we see that although Marx was more of revolutionary, favoring revolutionary kind of change, but still there was a process of moving towards communistic utopia. So it is a revival of the interest in the evolutionary development of human society. So in this evolutionary approach, Parsons gave three stages in the evolution of society. His first stage was the primitive stage, second was intermediate stage, and the third was modern stage. In primitive stage, we see that kinship relations and religious orientation in the world were prominent. So that's the society which is a simple kind of society where people know each other and mostly more like extended kind of families, there are lots of kinship kind of relations. So then he talks about intermediate stage when इनकी जो language है वो रिटन फॉर्म में आ गई है. अगर रिटन फॉर्म में आ गई है तो फिर डॉक्यूमेंट्स बन सकते हैं और दैट कैन बी प्रिजर्व्ड, इट कैन बी shifted from one place to, and the communication can move, let's say, indirectly through other medium. So that's the intermediate stage. The third one was modern stage. Now, modern stage is a complex society. A formal kind of relationships are there, and they are governed by many cases formalized procedures. So there are rules and regulations which govern the relationships. So the laws are there, and for the implementation of the laws, there are institutions. So laws are institutionalized. That's the formal kind of society, modern industrial society. So here in the modern society, we see that focus is on the concept of division of labor, concept of differentiation. So we see that in this society, it is composed of series of subsystems, and these subsystems differ both in their structure and their functioning. So each subsystem may have its own structure and its own function. So there are, let's say, division of functions. So different units of the society, different systems or subsystems of the society perform different functions. Each has its own structure and each has its own function. And the coordination of all these functions leads to the overall, let's say, progress of the society, functioning of the society, meeting the needs of the society. تو ان ساری باتوں کو کہنے کا مقصد یہ ہے کہ دیر از more and more differentiation. Differentiation means different structures, differences in structures as well as in the functions. So there is a continually, in the modern society, there is a continually increasing differentiation, and that differentiation might lead to specialization of a particular job. So ultimately all these subsystems who might be performing a function, they might be contributing to the production of one unit, but different parts are being developed by different units or social systems, something like that. So we see that change from primitive to modern societies کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ ہم شفٹ ہو رہے ہیں فرام ایسی سچویشن سے جہاں لوگوں کے جو رولز ہیں وہ فیوزڈ نہیں ہیں، وہ فیوزڈ قسم کے رول ہیں، اسپیشلائزڈ رول نہیں ہے. ایک ہی لیٹس سے یونٹ ہے، ایون ایک انڈیویجول ہے، وہ بھی ڈفرینٹ رولز پرفارم کر رہا ہے. اگر لیٹس سے اکانومی کے ایریا میں دیکھیں تو وہ خود ہی سارے کام کر رہا ہے، جبکہ ماڈرن سوسائٹی میں ہم دیکھتے ہیں کہ یہ جو رولز ہیں یہ ایلوکیٹ کیے جاتے ہیں ڈفرینٹ یونٹس کو یا سب سسٹم کو آن دا بیسس آف دیئر اسکلس، اور یہاں پر اسکل کی اسپیشلائزیشن ہے، اور یہ اسپیشلائزیشن ڈفرینٹ لیٹس سے یونٹس کو دیکھنے کے بعد ہم یہ کہتے ہیں کہ دیر از مور اینڈ مور ڈفرینسیشن. تو اکنامک پروڈکشن بیکمز مور ایفیشینٹ ان اسپیشلائزڈ فیکٹریز دین سیلف سفیشینٹ ہاؤس ہولڈس. تو یہ چونکہ ڈویژن آف لیبر ہو گیا ہے، اس میں اسکل ڈیولپ ہو گئی ہے، اسپیشلائز اسکل ڈیولپ ہو گئی ہے، تو وہ چیزیں جو ہیں جلدی بنتی ہیں، دین مائٹ بی پٹ ٹوگیدر، اسمبلڈ ٹوگیدر. So Parsons has given 6 evolutionary universals. So پہلی بات ہے social differentiation، دوسری ہے cultural legitimation، تیسری ہے bureaucratic organization، چوتھی ہے money economy and markets، پانچویں ہے generalized universalistic norms، and then democratic associations. So we see that evolutionary sequence starts from greater and greater differentiation. So this is a differentiation between structures and processes. Each structure has the 6 universals which have been identified by Parsons. So the process جو اس چینج کا ہے اس میں 4 چیزیں آ رہی ہیں. اس میں بات آ رہی ہے ڈفرینسیشن ہے، اڈیپٹیو اپ گریڈنگ ہے، انکلوژن ہے، اور فائنلی ویلیو جنرلائزیشن ہے. تو ان کی بات کرتے ہیں کہ ہر ایک میں کیا چیز ہے.